Hello everyone, hope everybody's doing great today. Appreciate those of you watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. And today we're talking about this show called Marry My Husband. How many women do you know would want to try to get their husband married off to another lady? Well, this basically is about what the show is about in a dark way. It's one of those shows, again, it comes from Korea where somebody dies and they go back in time to get some revenge type of thing. And Marry My Husband, our female lead here, she finds out that her husband is cheating on her with her best friend. And when she confronts him, he pushes her down, busts her head open on a table, causes her death. But then she wakes up 10 years in the past. And so she's determined to get her husband to marry her best friend because she realizes that her life was basically crap before she died. I don't really know where I fit in these, or if I really like these type of shows, because you don't got one life, so you better make the best of it. These type of shows always make it seem like you got a second chance. Like if you die, you can come back. I know it's all fiction, but I don't really know where I'm not really know what I'm saying, but where I'm wanting to go with, I should say. But you only got one life. Make the best of it. Because you don't get second chances. And this is one of those shows where you do get a second chance. As she dies, she goes back in time. There's a little bit of twist I did appreciate that the writers took with this, is that when she dies, she comes back. There's certain events, major events that happens in her life that she finds out has to happen again. Either it can happen to herself, or she can pass these events on to other people. And this is where kind of like Marry My Husband goes. She realizes she didn't want to be married to this guy, that her life was crap. And so she wants to pass this crappy life onto her best friend, who happens to betray her. And she realizes that her best friend really wasn't a good friend at all. That actually all her hardships basically came to her because of her friend. So she's trying to pass this ill luck to her friend. Meanwhile, she gets help from her boss. And she gets help from her boss, and they kind of form a relationship. And that's basically what the premise of the story is. Her trying to, marry her husband, get her husband to marry her best friend. And in the meantime, trying to get these. Sorry for the cough. Trying to get these events that happen to her passed on to her best friend. Sometimes she succeeds. Sometimes she has consequences that she doesn't realize is going to happen. She realizes that sometimes the events happen to her life, she ends up passing them on to other people that she really likes and becomes friends with. And so she kind of has to unravel all these events to get them where her husband marries this woman, then he cheats on her, and all that good stuff that follows. The show, this has what's her name? Park Min Young. She's if you never watched Korean shows before, she's a famous actress over there in South Korea. This is one of her better shows that she's came out here recently. I didn't really, her last two were okay. Love Contract, where she was kind of like this, think of Failure to Launch with Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey. She goes out, dates other people, and pretends to be their wives. That show was pretty good. The show, I'm in 12 episodes long. And then the one before, when she's like a weather person, that show was, I didn't enjoy that at all. So out of the last three shows she's been in, this is definitely the best. The writing is pretty good. Like I said, they did do like an interesting concept on a person dying, going back in time, and then trying to get revenge. Basically, kind of like your Perfect Marriage revenge, for those who watched that. Only on this one, like I said, she has to. I like the wrinkle in this. The little difference is that she has to pass on certain events on to other people because if they don't, they're going to happen to her. This is based off a web comic. So her best friend Sumin here in the web comic, she's like a lot more psychotic and psycho in this one. Especially when she kills off certain people. And that one, she's really doing it because she's crazy. But in this version, this drama, like when she kills off a certain person, it's really more like self-defense, and they do make her more like sympathetic. Like, so when she does kill off this person, it's like, why is she running from the cops when it's clearly the guy kidnapped her in this one? In the webcomic, she doesn't get kidnapped. In this one, Sumine gets kidnapped by a certain person, and so that's why she ends up kind of killing him in self-defense. So that part of the story of the writing needed a little bit of help. This show, if you're wanting to know, does pretty much stick close to the webcomic. The webcomic storyline. They do make some changes, add some characters. So they tweak it a little bit, and they really stick more heavily to the whole idea that she has to pass on events in her life to other people, even to the guy that she has romantic feelings for. He has to do the same thing. And the webcomic, it doesn't really, that part of his life where he has to make sure certain events of his life happens either to him, to other people. That part wasn't really a big part in the webcomic, but it is in this TV series, and I think it makes it pretty good, a more rounded story that way, and it makes more sense, because it's, the other webcomic takes more of a liberty with the rules of the universe that it created, while the TV series is more of a stickler to these rules, which is what you should do. If you create rules in a universe, you should hold true to them. Makes the story better. Very much more to say. If you're a big Parkman Young, sorry, messing her name up all over the place, is why I don't say these people's names, fan, you'll really enjoy this. If you're one of those people who really like those kind of like time travel type of stories, I'm going to say this is a time travel type of story, you'll enjoy it as well. You got good romance in this, and get your good old-fashioned revenge. So I'm just going to recommend this. I'm not going to highly recommend it. I'm just going to give this a solid recommend. This is something I probably would watch again, and maybe I will in the future. Not sure. So hope you enjoy this review. If you've seen this, leave some comments below. Interested in seeing what you're thinking about this show. I guess I'll add on a little bit, 30-minute here. This does touch on like who is your real friends. Make sure you pay attention to your surroundings and really know who you associate with. Like I said, this woman, Sumine, was really supposed to be the main character's best friend, but she's so down and on herself. Our main character is so down on herself and kind of insecure about her own self that she doesn't realize that her friend's actually really toxic. Does touch about family dynamics, the effects that divorce can have on children. Both our female lead here, and her best friend come from broken families, and you kind of see how this affected, especially her best friend Sumine, really affected her psychology here, her mindset. And kind of plays a little bit more on like the rich people. It's kind of like a rich people trope type of thing. Not really going to go into much to that. I'm sure there's some truth to that part of the story, but I think it's probably a little over exaggerated. Anywho, thanks for sticking around. Hope you guys have a great day, and bye.